welcome everyone to our third year, our third year rep debate. Sadly, um, it started with three brave souls fighting for the position, and now, uh, as of last night or this morning, I think we are down to one last person. So pretty much say hello to your rep, unless, yeah, you know. But yeah, so this is everyone. This is CC Ohayan. Uh,
Okay, nice.
am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, CC. Okay, all right, great. So we're just going to be asking. Originally, we had a set of more debatey questions set up to get a bit, I don't know, to get a little friction going. But we're just going to do more casual, get to know CC kind of style questions. So, but still, if you guys have any questions in the audience, send them to us. We can talk about it. Yeah, and it's yeah. All right. So to start off,
Awesome. Shoot away.
I guess start off. Well, I don't know if you had an opening statement prepared, but would you like to just sort of just open for us? Just start talking about something,
Sure.
about what you
Yeah.
want to do.
Yeah. Awesome. As Craig said, my name is Cece. I'm an incoming third year. And something that I really want to do this year is I'm running on this sort of like open campaign where I really want to be approachable. So I think that the best way to really develop a community environment and to make sure that people's voices are heard is to be someone who is approachable. So I want everyone to be able to reach out to me, to be able to confide in me or whatever they want to talk about. I want to be someone that will make sure that I will respect whatever everyone's our opinions, even if they differ from my own, and make sure that I would be communicating that on their behalf.
All right, great. So let's see here. So we're going to start on the same question we did last time. So what does the DeGroot community mean to you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if I'm being honest with you, when I was actually planning on coming to DeGru, I actually accepted another offer from another university first. And after I did that really last minute, I something just came to me and I was like, you know what, I really need to switch. I need to go to DeGru. That's really the place for me. And I didn't really know why, but there was this feeling in me. And from instantly, coming to DeGru, my first day, I felt that it's kind of like this feeling of, I guess, like a hug, but not a hug. That kind of sounds a little weird, but the DeGroot community is really that it's everyone's sort of on this mountain, and it's not I'm going to step on you to get to the top. It's more so I'm going to the top, and who's coming with me, and how can we help each other. And I'm someone who's very community oriented. I grew up in a very close knit community. I'm still involved with my school communities and lots of different communities in my life. And what I really, really love about DeGroot is the fact that there is such that strong, vibrant community that really looks out for one another, which I love to be a part of.
Nice, nice. So what would you say then that you of the year to be in terms of what oh,
I think I missed that. You
yeah,
just
sorry, I noticed that the frame shuttered there. So what is the overarching theme of what you want this year to be and what you want it to look like?
Yeah. So what I want this year to look like is I think that a lot more can be done to really unite our cohort. I mean, I guess you could say the class of 2022, but I don't know when people plan on graduating, but I just want to really connect everyone who's in third year. And despite knowing that, DeGroot as a whole is a community, I think there's a lot to be said about really uniting your year. So I've always been someone that has had this ability to unite people because of my outgoing personality, and I have a way with connecting with people. So I would love to just plan, events like being able to go paintballing or go-karting, or having maybe a mystery road bus that's specifically for our year, just to really create those memories that help really fuse those the students in our year together.
Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
So what do you think then, what do you think are the biggest challenges that DeGroote students are facing today, and how do you plan on addressing them?
Yeah. I mean, just for starters, even if we don't want to even take into account everything pre-COVID, COVID in itself has demonstrated to be a huge challenge. Um, and everyone's been facing lots of different obstacles because of COVID, big and small. They're all valid. And being a student at DeGroote, we have been hit. We don't know if school is going to be online or in person next year. They just announced that Welcome Week is going to be online, like to all the green suits, and JDCC is going to be online. And slowly we're seeing that things are changing, and we really have to be adaptable, and we need this positive mindset in order to do that successfully. So I would say that COVID and its effects after are really going to affect DeGroote as a community. I would also say that there is a challenge between IBH and commerce. There definitely is some unspoken, I guess, whether it's tension there or feelings of elitism or things like that, which I definitely condone. I don't think that is, we're two programs that are on the exact same level. We're both under DeGroote. And I think that a lot of that sort of friction does stem from faculty and higher authority. And I think that that in itself is an obstacle, and that I'm going to try and do whatever I can in my power to help, sort of break that apart and just realize that, there are no stereotypes against commerce. There are no stereotypes against IBH. We're just all, under DeGroote. So those are two examples of sort of challenges that I see us facing.
Nice, nice. So more specifically then, how do you, if you're going to put like a specific action to that idea of breaking down these walls between different groups of people around campus, whatever those groups may be, what specifically would you be looking at doing?
Yeah, so if I want to just talk specifically from the commerce and IBH, from that perspective, again, like I was saying before, I think part of it does really stem from faculty and higher up authority. And I think something needs to be said to them that's saying, hey, listen, look at the problems that it's causing when we try to think that one program might be better than the other, or one program will get you somewhere and the other program won't. It's really just shooting yourself in the foot. If you want to say that this group is more engaged over this group, it's shooting yourself in the foot, because then people won't want to be involved and they won't want to be engaged. So I think it's just that open line of communication. And another part of that is even within recruitment, when you're recruiting people for the commerce program and the IBH program, you want to make sure that in recruitment, you are explicitly stating that they are on the same level, that there is no one is more elite than the other or one is better than another. They're just separate programs catering to separate types of students, which is okay. And I think it needs to start there in order to have a positive ripple effect.
Nice, nice. So talking more about you specifically,
Sure.
what are some skills like personality skills do you think that you possess that make you ideal and great for this role?
Yeah, sure. So I really don't want to be someone here that would toot my own horn, but I think, like I said before, that I'm someone who's outgoing. I'm not afraid to talk to anyone. Background doesn't matter. Ethnicity doesn't matter. Any sort of socioeconomic, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Another human being is another human being. And I love to connect with people. I love to make meaningful connections. I think that there's a lot that we can learn from one another. And I don't want to miss out on any of those opportunities. So again, being outgoing, also my ability to unite people, I think, which stems from my outgoingness, is that I'm able to bring groups of people together, and which is demonstrated a lot from my work in DCS last year, a second year rep, as well as with being an IBH ambassador. I also think that I would like to think I have great communication. I like to communicate my thoughts, and I'm not afraid to stand up for what I believe in, which is why I want to make sure that people's voices are heard. And I mean, I'm passionate and I'm dedicated to whatever I'm going to do. If I know I'm signing up for something, I'm willing to give my 110 to it. And that's a promise that I make for everything that I'm involved in.
Nice. So you seem to be involved a fair bit. So what is it about this role that interests you and made you want to come to it, especially after doing another version of it?
Yeah, so I love just being able to be that liaison to make people being heard. When I was younger, I was a very quiet kid. I was a very more reserved and shy kid, and I had trouble being able to really communicate what I wanted to say at times. And I wish that I had someone to really help me with that. So now I've grown a tremendous amount, and now I'm able, like I said, to communicate and not be afraid to talk to people and things like that. So I want to be that person for my younger self, because there are those types of people everywhere. And what really attracts me to the role of being the rep is that I get to represent a class. I get to help people in the best way that I can. And if me being able to vocalize if you have a concern is going to improve your undergraduate experience at DeGroote, then that's amazing. And I'm not saying that I have to help every single one in third year. That's impossible. But if I can help one person or a few people, to me, that's a job well done. And that really changes someone's experience.
Great, thanks. So actually, speaking a little bit towards your past experience in a year rep role, what would you say that you struggled with the most last year as second year rep?
That's a good question. Um, I'll just take a quick second so that I'm not going to spew out a random answer here. I got it. I would say that at first I struggled with accepting that I was in a role that had to talk on behalf of other people. There was an experience last year where there was an issue with a professor, and a protest was being sent around, and I was one of the last people to see it. And I really regret that, because I felt that maybe there was something that, not that I have crazy authority or anything, but maybe there was something that I could have done, and I should have stepped up sooner. I should have brought it to the table sooner. And I'm hoping that now being the third year rep, I can learn from that experience and really moving forward. I mean it when I say it, that I want to be approachable and I want to be people's voice. It doesn't matter if you're in IBH. It doesn't matter if you're in commerce. That doesn't matter at all. Um, so I definitely struggled at first, really accepting the fact that it was my job to really bring these things to the table fast and efficiently, because it matters. And I'm hoping moving forward that I won't do that again.
Great. Let's see here. Oh, an audience question is, how
Ooh.
do you communicate to students what the DCS is and what it stands for?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So one of the crazy things about McMaster, I guess this is all universities, is just the amount of acronyms are just kind of ridiculous. And if you're coming in for the first time and someone's like, oh, DCS and JDCC and FYO and all this stuff, that's going to go in through one ear and come out the other. Really great question. So what I've done to really explain the DCS, usually for recruiting students, is when they first come to the DCS table, whether it's at fall preview or whatever it is, I like to ask them sort of, what are you passionate in? What is something that you like to be involved in? And let's say that they say, I really like debating. So I will say, oh, that's amazing. So as the DeGroote Commerce Society, we're the umbrella organization where all of the clubs and committee fall under. And we, strive to improve the experience of the undergraduate students. So you really like debate, for example. Let me show you to the JDCC table, and they can tell you all about that. It's being that first point of contact that can help people find what they're looking for. So that's how I would go about it. But I probably wouldn't start with all the acronyms. I would just go straight into saying that we're that society. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, I can elaborate a little bit more.
Great. I hope whoever that was, that it answered your question. Uh,
Yeah. Maybe it was my mom, who knows?
um, so how have you in the past, or how do you think you would deal with conflicts of interest?
Conflict of interest. Do you think
Yeah.
you could give me like an example or just elaborate a little bit on what you mean?
Let's see here. I was just thrown at the document. Let's take it that if there is, I don't really know exactly what it means. We were just sort of looking at them as the questions as they're streaming in. But let's say it's some sort of circumstance comes up where uh, you feel like you have, you know, conflict of interest. You have a personal stake in what the outcome of a decision is. Maybe there's a group that you feel that you have a personal connection to, and you feel
Right.
like they might be benefited by a decision that either the DCS is having to make or
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing question. Uh, I think in that moment, emotional intelligence really has to kick in. I have to be able to remove myself from what my job is versus what I'm emotionally attached to. Um, and I'm really happy to say that I've grown a lot and I do have I'd like to think that I have great emotional intelligence. So if I thought that there's a conflict of interest, first step, communicate. Say, you know what, I think maybe this might be too tough for me. And try and come up with, plan B or what's going on. But knowing myself, I am confident that I would be able to remove myself in the sense that when I'm dealing with something that's my job, like I said, I'm not bringing in outside emotions. I'm dealing with what the facts are on the table. And I have a team that I'm going to be, talking to you about it. So that's sort of my plan of action. If there is conflict of interest, first see obviously if I can handle it, emotional intelligence. But if it gets to a point where, it is a big conflict of interest, then I would consider removing myself from the situation and trying to seek an alternative route. Yeah.
right. So I guess talking on the topic of, I guess, personal bad situations to be, or just situations less than optimal situations that you can find yourself in. How do you handle failure?
That's a good question. So I used to definitely have a struggle with failure. I used to let it sort of consume me and think that, if you didn't get exactly what you wanted, then uh, tough, like it's over, you lost kind of thing. And I think that stems from the fact that I am a competitive person. But over my 2 years at DeGru, I've realized that failure is actually something really special. And it just shows that the first time you may not have gotten your outcome, but there was something definitely to be learned there. And how can I use what I have here to make me get to an even better point? I can give you an example. So I am currently working on a health tech app. It's like a startup called Ali, and it's for individuals who have food allergies. And if you want to talk about failure, there was definitely a lot of failure there. I've definitely hit a lot of stumps along the way, but you just have to sort of keep going because you never know when your success is right there. So really maintaining, that positive attitude. It's hard. It's really hard when things don't go as you want them to. And you want to, pout and feel bad for yourself, but you can't, you're a big girl. Like get back on it and just keep going. So I maintain a positive attitude and a mindset that says that, it's not the end. And you can definitely use something that you've learned through your failures to reach even better and higher successes.
All right, great. So here's another question from the audience related to second year rep. So it says, coming from your second year rep position previously, how will you adapt to working with someone older or from fourth year to run the upper year council effectively?
Nice. So I actually had the opportunity last year when, before COVID hit the fan, INZA was using Upper Year Council to try and plan a mystery road bus partnership with the KIN, like our sister faculty. So I had the opportunity to kind of using some of the connections that I've made, just like within some of, the party life at McMaster, and some of the work that I've done with them, I was able to offer whatever experience that I had and be put to help plan. But I don't really think that age is particularly like a factor that could make or break something. I think that you know I can plan with someone who's 20, I can plan with someone who's 24, I can plan with someone who's 14, just adapting, each person is a person, and hopefully they have that intellect to offer. And I just don't see, I personally don't see a concern with being able to work with people that are older than me. I hope that was a question. Maybe I misunderstood what you were saying.
No, I think that was the question. Yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
threw it in the chat too if you needed to read it
Okay.
there.
Awesome. I'm going to open the chat. That's good that you did that. Okay. Okay.
Let's see
Now,
here.
awesome.
Do we have any more audience questions? Where it moves a lot faster when there's three less people having to give answers. Let's see here. Did you have anything just in particular that maybe we've missed so far that you wanted to talk about in terms of goals that you have for the year or things that you would like to see accomplished?
Um, I would say that I want to make sure that it doesn't matter if school is going to be online or in person. It's not going to make me work any less hard in this role. It's not going to make me feel any less accountability to the third year students, and I just want everyone to know that. And I signed up for this for a reason, and hopefully I'm not going to let anyone down. And I'm pretty confident about that. But again, open communication, approachability is my thing. Please contact me in any way, who anybody wants to. We can talk about anything from DeGroot to Netflix recommendations. I don't know what to watch right now. So if anybody knows, hit me up. But yeah, that's basically it.
All right, great. Let's see here. Oh, we do have another one. So if you could, and this is sort of a rephrasing of a couple different questions that we've received so far. So if you could essentially change one thing about the DCS and implement one thing in your role over the course of the year, what would that one thing be?
Well, that's a good question. Whoa. Shout out to whoever the people who were that came up with that one. I'll just take a quick second. If there is one thing that I could implement in the DCS. Mhm. Honestly, I think that, and I hope you guys don't get mad at me for saying this, I think that sometimes the DCS can come across um, as themselves kind of like elite or smuff or nose in the air sort of thing. When in reality, we're all just students. We're all in university. We're all undergrad. I can't think I'm better than other people if they probably have better grades than I do. So I'm just in this position because it's what I can do to help. It's what I can do to help bring DeGroot, to have a better name, to be seen as better, for people to enjoy their undergraduate experience. And everybody has something that they can offer. So one thing that I would try to do is just to really break down that sort of stereotype that has been seen before with the DCS, that they're all that, and that they're the top 1%. It's not true. It's so not true. There's so many things that are wrong with me, guys. But yeah, that's probably the one thing that I would want to change about the DCS.
All right, great, thanks. So I don't know if we have any last questions that we're getting. We haven't gotten a new question in a few minutes. So I guess we could move towards wrapping it up. If you want to just sort of close us out, give us a closing statement, anything else you wanted to mention?
The final joke. No,
Yeah.
just thank everyone for their time. Thank you two for coming in, and I mean being online for so many debates. There's like 4 of them. Thanks to everyone who live streams, and I'm really excited to, be representing the third years, and I really thank you guys for this opportunity.
All right. Thanks for coming out and talking with us.
Yeah, no problem.
Um, yeah, I guess to everyone watching, well, I think most people will probably be watching this not live, probably on our website or wherever we post it to.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it's thank you for watching our fourth year, or sorry, third year rep debate. And yeah, stick around. We have Liam O'Brien for our fourth year rep, also rep conversation, not a debate,
Yeah.
coming up. So thank you.